Welcome to FreedomCast, a podcast dedicated to interviewing star icons and entrepreneurs who have encouraged others to become more healthy and active. My name is Ashton, and it's my pleasure to host you as we take another trip through the fitness industry. It's entertaining and informative, and I hope it makes fitness more exciting and special to you in your own fitness journey. FreedomCast is supported by Freedom Fitness Equipment in Charlotte, North Carolina. Freedom Fitness Equipment serves the health and fitness community nationwide, from free weights and strength equipment for home gyms and studios to cardio and conditioning equipment for commercial spaces. Check them out at freedomfitnessequipment.com. Let's get rolling with today's show. And it looks like you have quite a few achievements to your name. And are you also still a strongman coach?
So indirectly, I mean, I did it for a long time. I had my own gym with a partner and ended up going down because of a number of different issues. But after having to make fitness a job, it kind of the fun out of it. So when it was required to charge money and ask for money for services, it kind of took away a lot of what I loved about it, which is just helping people just for the sake of it. Yeah. Now that I'm a little more mature, I'm thinking that I might actually take it back up again and be a coach and even open my own gym. But right now, I would say I don't do anything for money. Sure. But I do help a lot of people for sure.
Awesome. Can you talk a little bit about your background? What led you up to and into Strongman? And then, by the way, congratulations. I just saw on your profile that you were invited to the official Strongman games in November. So that's terrific.
Yeah. A little bit of my background, like school-wise, or how did I get started in Strongman?
Yeah, just all the above. Just leading up to training and getting into Strongman.
Okay. Oh man, where do you start? So I've always been passionate about fitness and pushing myself to the limit in whatever I really try. And most people that know me would agree. I push myself pretty hard in whatever I do. But I started after I went to school for about a semester. I went for one semester in Stevens Point University, transferred to River Falls, and everything I was studying was eventually leading into athletic training or something in the area. I realized that you don't need anything with a college degree to start training people at all.
Yep.
And largely, a lot of the certifications that you get today are pretty meaningless unless you back it up with any kind of personal experience. So I earned a certificate through the International Sports Sciences Association and through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. No, American College of, I can't remember. It's one of the
one of those things with letters.
I snagged a job at the Hudson YMCA in Wisconsin. And from there, I started training people. I really was focusing on fitness specifically instead of sports training for a long time. I did my first physique show, which will probably be my last.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I did one powerlifting meet, and then I met this one guy that was doing some weird continental cleans with a barbell at the YMCA. And I was like, this guy, he's not maintaining a neutral spine. He's doing just so I go up there trying to be the nice guy and like, hey, are you sure you're doing that correctly? I mean, you can do overhead presses out of the rack. It's a lot safer. And then he introduced me to Strongman, and we trained together for 2 years. We started a gym that went under, but he was my start. It all started just at the corner of a YMCA.
Wow, that's crazy. And then as far as your accolades, I know you've got quite a few, and you've podiumed multiple times from what it looks like. Can you give just a brief summary of everything that you've competed in and then also placed in?
Shit. I guess I've been in competitive strength sports for 7 years now. I'm 28. Man, that went fast.
Nice.
So I guess powerlifting, I was the NASA, so Natural Athletic Strength Association. They drug test you and everything. I've never taken any steroids of any kind.
Oh, wow.
I'm the junior national champion. I think that was way back in like 2014 or something.
Wow.
National champion in powerlifting. In maybe 2017, one of my favorite things that I've done is called Stones of Strength. You ever heard of that before?
No.
Okay. So everyone knows Highland Games.
Mm-hmm.
You're throwing a bunch of shit, screaming, flipping the saber, all that stuff. I have not done a Highland Games competition yet, and I really want to do it. But my friend, Francis Brebner, if you look him up, you'll know that he's a legend in Highland Games. He held multiple world records in the weight throw and the caber toss and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He combined the Highland Games and Strongman into what's called Stones of Strength. So it's awesome, and I'm pretty good at it. So it's everything with a stone, whether you do a shot put with it, a press overhead, a carry medley, loading, anything like that. That's Stones of Strength. So I won the All-American Stones of Strength National Championship, which is open, by the way. It's not weight class at all. That was back in 2017. So I won that National Champion Stones of Strength.
Nice.
Then recently this year, instead of competing in the 231 class, which I normally do, I won the overall heavyweight championship belt at United States Strongman Nationals.
Dang.
So I've done a couple things. I took 5th in 2017 at OSG, and 2017 I took 4th.
Nice.
And that Clash on the Coast too.
Wow. So just so people don't get confused, because I'm still, so I interviewed Garrett Blatnick, who's big Highland Games guy, pro, and also his brother, who it actually lives right over here in Indian Trail, North Carolina. And they were talking to me about, Strongman and Highland Games, but there's different championships that you can go to. And I saw that you got invited to the one in November for World's Strongest Man, official Strongman Games, but that is different than the one that's going to premiere later this year that Brian Shaw was in, right? So, or are they the same, just a different type of event?
Are you asking for the distinction between official Strongman Games and World's Strongest Man? Is that?
Yeah, because it says World's Strongest Man, and I see this World's Strongest Man U 105 kilograms. So just for our audience understanding, what's the difference between these two then?
So the title of World's Strongest Man, like World's Strongest Man, that is the TV show that everyone's familiar with on ESPN.
Yep.
Okay. So that is the open weight class, the biggest guys, the Brian Shaws, Thor Bjornssons, Eddie Halls. That is World's Strongest Man.
Okay.
Now, understandably, not everyone has the potential to be 6'5" and 380 pounds and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So to make the sport more accessible and obtainable to compete at a reasonable level for other people of different sizes, men and women. Don't forget about the women.
Yeah.
Official Strongman Games is like the Super Bowl of Strongman. So as a 105 grammer or 231.4 pound Strongman athlete, if you win official Strongman Games, you are the world's strongest man, 105 kilogram.
Okay.
So it's still just as legitimate. I mean, it's not the open world's strongest man, but it's the same idea.
Okay. So they're separated by weight class, whereas with Worlds that Shaw's in, it's just however big you can possibly get. We're doing it, for the best of the best of the best, I guess, or something like that.
That's called an open weight class.
Open weight class. Okay.
Most killing anyone. If there's a guy good enough my size that ever gets the strongest man, that's still world's strongest man. It's not U105.
Okay. Gotcha. Very cool. And so how many times have you been able to compete in that, or is this your first invite?
In 2017 I took 5th. In 2018 I took 4th. 2019 I had a direct invite. I didn't have to try to qualify because I'd done so well the last 2 years.
Awesome.
But I needed time off because I was pushing myself so hard in a couple other contests.
Okay.
So I took months off from training. Come on now. So now I decided now that I'm back in and I'm crushing it. On a whim, I just remembered, oh yeah, qualifying is ending today. I better do all of the events in one day. And that's what I did. So
oh gosh. Dang. Yeah. Training and the prep required. I've heard from a couple other people, it's not like powerlifting or even bodybuilding, which is very, I mean, you're obviously going to have the nutrition part dialed in, of course, but um, my impression was that up until like a few weeks before competition, you're not really going to know the implements and things you're going to train with. You may have a general idea, but is it starting to get more standardized, or is it still kind of unpredictable where you get there and they're going to run you through a gauntlet of whatever they have on hand?
Oh man, I guess I can say after 7 years in the sport that you see trends. So if one particular event is convenient and relatively inexpensive, a lot of promoters will adopt it for many contests in a row.
Okay.
So Cerberus is a company that makes strongman equipment. Same thing with Rogue. Those are two of kind of like the most popular ones right now.
Yep.
But for an example, like sandbags are huge because number one, they're really cheap. To just buy the sandbag, and it's an incredibly versatile tool to train for strongman. And so everyone uses sandbags now. And instead of using kegs for a keg toss where you're throwing those over a bar, well, we've adapted sandbags where you can hold a handle on them and then wait and you throw them. So that has kind of evolved into being more standard. I mean, we'll use sandbags all the time. It's pretty hard to get away from a regular barbell or an axle. That's always the same. So you know what the general idea of what an event's going to be. You may not just have the exact model of that implement.
Gotcha. And you were talking a little bit about steroids and the fact that you're a natural athlete, which I'm super impressed with because you're still winning these things and getting on the podium. But is that an uncommon thing, or is that a common thing within strongman? Because I know with, well, obviously there's certain divisions, USPA is not, well, I say not tested, but they're not tested as heavily. So it's understood that that's probably going to be loaded with people doing PEDs. And I don't honestly give a rat's ass either way, but what's the gist on?
I make that explicitly clear that everyone in strongman has the opportunity to take and put whatever they want to in the body. There's no against it. And I am never going to say like, oh, that guy wouldn't have beat me if he wasn't on drugs. No, if I wanted to take drugs, I could take drugs, but I haven't. And that's not saying I'm better or worse. It's just the choice I've made. We all have tools at our disposal, and I have chosen to not partake in those. And that's the way it is. So I would say they are very, very, very prevalent in the sport. I mean, I'm not going to speak for anyone necessarily, but I would say, yes, they are. I am not common.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
In that area.
Was there a specific reason for that? I'm just going to choose to be natural because I just don't want to do certain things.
I haven't done enough research where I would feel comfortable assuming the risks that are involved. You can do it pretty dang safely. But once you start, I also know my personality, and a lot of that would go into you wanted to take advantage of advantages, So if I was going to start with a little and I'd see results, I know I'd be tempted to do a lot more. The main thing against it, though, is just the health risks and my lack of education because I haven't wanted to do them. So if I was going to do them, I would do a lot of research before I ever did anything like that.
Yep. From a training standpoint, I'll just pivot back to that. What do you find is most effective leading up to competition, and how many weeks are you? It sounds like you're doing, a few competitions throughout the year. Is there a training block that you're doing to peak before the actual event, or how's training structured for you?
It's so varied depending on where are you in your training, meaning what level of a show are you going to do, right? So let's put an example here. So I have a lot of experience, far more than 90% of people that are in strongman, because it started so young and I did a lot of contests and somehow I didn't get hurt and I trained stupid.
That's amazing.
For so, I mean, just straight stupid. The first few years, I was just looking to see how much I could make myself hurt before I broke.
Oh gosh.
Break. And that level of intensity that I brought for a long time, which again, I will highlight is stupid. I learned a lot at a rate exponential to what most people would experience. So coming back to the question though, how do you know where to train and what kind of block to do and that sort of thing? I already have so much experience with the events that I don't need to train the event that much, because I can see my weaknesses from such a pulled back view. And my press has been the main thing that's held me back for my entire career. I just haven't been able to build a very strong press because, number one, I haven't trained it intelligently or patiently. I would say patience, a lack of patience has been my biggest injury, reason for injury, because I've just tried to be pushing 10 pounds every couple weeks and it just doesn't happen. So if I haven't done a 900-pound yoke and I know it's coming up in, which it's going to be at official strongman games, yoke is my best event. So I'm probably not going to train yoke that much. A 325-pound log for reps though, I mean, that's for a single, that's dang near my PR. So I need to train pressing a lot. It's a matter of maintaining your strengths and building on your weaknesses. It's a really tough balance.
Okay. Yeah. Cause, the amount of weight you guys are, I'm impressed. I'll just say this out loud. I am impressed that you're doing it natural, because the number 900, I'm just going to put 900 on my back and walk with it. I don't care who you are, is insane to me. Like,
it's,
you know?
Yeah.
So, and you're I mean, just for perspective, I mean, that's how many yards are you running with that yoke anyway?
Typically it's 15 to 20 meters, but they usually mark it at like 50 feet.
Okay.
Contests end up being like 40 to 50 feet.
Gotcha. And is that, I mean, obviously you guys are in some cases are repping that out with like deadlifts or presses and that kind of thing, or are most people, is that like, are they hitting max of their max on competition day, just because they're straining so hard? Or, and by this, I mean, like, the numbers are so incredibly high in my mind that it just seems unreal. But like, you guys are doing it like it's no big deal to me. So how I guess is my question.
So give me an example of how do I do what?
So let's go back to the 900-pound yoke. I mean, you're not walking that far of a distance, but
you're sprinting. You're not walking. If you're doing it right, you're actually running.
Okay.
That's the goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how is that? I mean, how are you? Because most people can't. Just from my perspective, so the most I've seen somebody do naturally, even with wraps in a squat for one rep, I think I was at a USAPL competition, is like 823, and that guy was 200 pounds higher than the nearest competitor, who was, I think, repping out 5 something. So I'm thinking, you're putting 900 pounds on your back and you're running that length. Yep. How?
That's a very loaded question. There's so much more to strongman, and the reason why you're so mystified by it is you have no idea what goes into doing something like that, and that's why it's so awesome, and that's why the population of athletes in strongman is so small. It's growing, but it's too hard. It's just too hard. People don't want to commit as much of their lives to making sure their body's maintained and putting themselves through it to do it. So I've gone through many different mental visualization type methods to try and put myself in a place to do something that can just cripple you. Your vertebrae can just crush. That's a real thing. But from a training standpoint, you have to have an incredible amount of strength in your body to do it. It's not all mind over matter. So doing shorter runs with heavier weights instead of doing the full length is a really good training your nervous system and your body to be coordinated to work and maintain that tightness with every step. One of the stupid things that I did was, I trained 1,000-pound yoke 6 weeks out, I think, from 2017 Worlds, because we had a 900-pound yoke at 2017 OSG, and I was, my brain, from the amount of effort, just central nervous system fatigue, they call it, that sort of thing. Maybe high blood pressure and your body's just ready to shut down. I was down for like a week, but I did 1,000 pounds for 50 feet on a yoke, and I weighed 230. Like that's crazy. Ever since, all the training after that, leading up to that competition, though, everything felt light. It wasn't that it moved fast, but I had felt 1,000 pounds for a long time, so everything felt light, whether it moved fast or not. So there's a lot of training your mind to just accept that this is the way it is. By getting accustomed to some heavier weight, and then other things can seem easier. I'm not sure if that's the best way to answer your question. There's a lot. I've used very dark visuals in my head to put me in a fight or flight response, where I make it real in my mind that if I don't complete this, I'm gonna die. And I wouldn't recommend people train that, because it's if you've ever failed that in training, you get really depressed because you put yourself in a real situation. So I've trained myself to, I don't know if I want to share this. The short of it is, I put myself in a situation in my mind where if I do this event and I complete it, I'll like save someone's life. That's still a light response, but the end result is positive, So I make it very real in my head that if I don't do something like that, someone that I care about isn't going to be okay. And that's a strong emotional response that your body gets.
Completely understand. That'd be more than enough motivation for me, for sure. Would you say that most of the USS Strongman's a very it's getting more broadly accepted, but it's still got its niche. And the amount of strength required is, like I just mentioned, is pretty high. So is there more genetics tied to strongman right now with the types of people competing? I mean, certain people just very, like yourself, very exceptional, can lift crazy amounts of weight. Or do you feel like, I don't know, Joe Schmo can walk off the street, do a lot of training over multiple years, and still get to that level?
Well, I mean, if you have to take genetics into some sort of account. I mean, would a badminton player be really good at pressing a log? I mean, maybe he doesn't have the shoulder structure to probably do it well. Like, of course, genetics play a role. That's why people like LeBron James are going to be really good in the NBA, because he's tall and athletic, and certain people are built to be better at different things. But with strength sports, there's a lot to be said that you build yourself into what you're going to be good at. People that are good at pressing press a lot because they enjoy it. People that deadlift a lot probably deadlift a lot. And then, he's built to deadlift. Well, yeah, he's got a huge back. He deadlifts all the time, I think the cool thing about strongman, it is so much reliant on, are you going to do the work? Going to eat the food, do the stretching, get your chiropractic, get your massages, drink enough water, prioritize sleep, supplement correctly, in most people's cases, do enough drugs. It's all encompassing. It takes up so much of your life, and if you don't love it, you're not going to succeed very much at it. I mean, I love it, and I have a rib out right now, and it's hard to breathe, but I'm just thinking, it's just another problem. You just got to figure it out. Like legitimately, you don't know what my day. This is what my day's been. So I woke up and I was like, man, my girlfriend's name's Sydney. I'm like, Sydney, I got this rib out. You think you can jump on my back? She's like, yeah. So I have her literally put her heel on one of my ribs.
No, dude.
Stomp on it, big old click, and I could breathe so much better. And then I went to my cousin's house, who's like, hey, you want to help me move this piano? And he paid me. I moved a piano upstairs today, and then I'm on a podcast with you. That's literally what I've done today.
You're out of your mind. You've got a rib out, dude? Okay, so you're just going to let that, like, I guess you get to let it heal up and get back into place, right?
Well, so there's a quote from Terry Hollins that I heard maybe like 4 years ago, and it's really going. I think he said, maybe it was for Magnuson, but he woke up and said, hey, yeah, if I woke up and my body didn't hurt, I'd think I'd be dead. Like,
great.
We're damaging our bodies. We're lifting insane amounts of weight. You know, I think Mark Bell says we're all going to end up in a wheelchair, so you might as well be a fucking savage. You know, you drink yourself to death. People smoke. I like to lift weights. Pick your poison, man. Like, I'm happy with what I'm doing. So
nice.
That's how I feel it.
Nice. Do you have, out of curiosity, I don't know if most people do this or not, but do you yourself have a coach, or have you been self-coached pretty much this whole time?
Fuck yeah, I got a coach.
Awesome.
Hang on. I need to make a distinction.
Mm-hmm.
I've only coached for about 2 months.
Okay.
Up until all of my own, everything that I mentioned that I had accomplished before, did all that by myself.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I reached out to people for advice. I'm a student of the game.
Right.
That's the key of being good at strength sports. You need to be a student. But yeah, I hired a coach, Tyler Young. He has been an exceptionally good static strength model of what I want to be. I have an extensive background in multiple different sports, so I know how to use my body and be athletic. Yep. That's my main advantage in strongman. I'm very good and coordinated at doing things fast. If I wasn't fast, I'd be fucked. I wouldn't be able to do anything in strongman. Tyler, on the other hand, he used to compete as a 175.
Okay.
Who now competes in the 231s. And this guy he's put on like 60 pounds in the last couple of years.
Holy cow.
He is, my personal opinion, the most statically strong person in strongman. Like,
wow.
He deadlifts 800 pounds at like 220. He almost has a 400. Well, okay. September 4th, I think he's gonna set the world record log at I think he's gonna hit 415. If he hits it right, he'll hit 415. And the dude can like box squat 800 pounds. Like, he's a freaking he benches 500. Like, he's a freak.
That's crazy.
So I hired Tyler because I figured, all right, if I'm already, admittedly, I'm one of the faster guys in strongman, one of the more technically sound guys in medleys.
Yeah.
What do I need? I need more static power because I get pressing points in the press. Mm-hmm. So with his help already, I mean, I've put on probably a few pounds of muscle in 3 months. I mean, it's been an insane amount of volume, but he's helped out a lot. So Tyler Young, check him out. Grade 8 performance.
Yeah, definitely. I want to talk about the cross-disciplinary sports, and because I know within, for example, a lot of folks are a big fan of football players doing lacrosse, baseball, multiple other sports, and they end up being better football players. Do you find that you're training, especially during the off season, you're doing powerlifting, God forbid CrossFit, but anyway, or some other like training modality just to get better at strongman, or are you consistently sticking to strongman throughout the entire year?
So, well, the short answer to that is I'm mainly going to the gym and lifting most of the time.
Okay.
And in addition to that, though, Now in the last 10 months or so, I've really changed my attitude towards strongman.
Mm-hmm.
And before, it was just, I'm going to do whatever I can do to win this show or I'm going to die. Like, I don't care. I'm just going to go all in. And now this is another quote. I love quotes. So my buddy that owns the gym that I train at now, primarily, his name's Tyler Ryder. He owns Torque Strength and Conditioning in Woodbury, Minnesota. Nice. He said, Mike, you need to stop moving that dirt pile with a bulldozer and start using a spoon. So what that really boils down to is my intensity was through the roof all the time, all gas, no brakes. And now it's, you got to push for a little bit, but you need to recover even harder. So I'm training strongman full time, but when I need to take a break, I pull back. I do yoga, I do stretching, I do self-myofascial release. You know, I got my freaking rumble roller right here.
Hey, there you go.
I always take care of myself. So in terms of high school athletes and collegiate athletes,
mm-hmm.
the more well-rounded you are at different movements and learning how to use your body, because it's a skill, you're going to be better at your sport. Mm-hmm. So when I was in school, I was doing, believe it or not, before I did all of this, I was a pole vaulter. That was my main thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So very aware of how to use my body in space, moving very fast. And I did football. I was a linebacker. I was a point guard in basketball. I did a little bit of swimming. I did wrestling for a couple of years, and I was always active. So everyone that's doing other sports in high school, they shouldn't just specialize. They should do one, if not three.
Yep. And this may be a weird question to ask, but with certain sports, particularly in strength, and this is different in bodybuilding, I found out there's a peak time or a season for you as far as age is concerned, 20s and 30s, to where you feel like you can just max out the weights. I found out with bodybuilding just recently that that's not always the case, especially with the females. There's more, evidently there's more muscle density as you get older. So some of the older females in bodybuilding would do much better. All that to say, in strongman, is it the same way where as you're maturing and getting stronger and learning how to all of the technique, do you see the older lifters, or is there a point at which there's a huge drop off and your strength kind of doesn't go down the tubes, but your competitiveness takes a significant hit within that sport?
I think it totally varies. And I'm sure you've heard of Mark Felix before.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Felix, he's a legend. I mean, I don't know, is he 70 years old? He's not. But I think he's over 50, isn't he?
Not sure.
50 years old. And then there's Nick Best and
yep.
Even Old Haugen, I think he is like 70 something.
Wait, who's the guy?
Old Haugen.
I haven't heard of him.
You never heard of him? Okay, well, he has the training hall and he trains with Martins, or he helped train Martins. So
okay,
the thing is, it's, you use it or you lose it, that sort of thing. If you just decide once you get an injury, like, oh, that's it, I'm all washed up, and you decide not to come back, yeah, your body's going to adapt to your new lifestyle. You don't need big, strong muscles to move stuff, and just eat your oatmeal and watch TV all day, and you're going to start looking like that. So it's like a matter of controlling the amount of damage you do to yourself, mm-hmm. and focusing on recovery and taking time off when you need it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I took 18 months off between 2018 and 2019 because I needed it. I was pushing way too hard and I just could not do it anymore.
Wow.
All that time, I feel better now physically than I've ever felt, minus this rib that's out right now. And that's normal wear and tear. Like, it's a chiropractic adjustment, some ibuprofen, couple of days rest, and you're fine.
Okay.
I don't want to say that there's this big peak drop off time, because the weight classes adjust with you.
Right.
There's age groups as well now. There's masters, and there's even 50 plus masters that's available. So it's a matter of how long do you want to stay in it? Mm-hmm. How smart are you going to be about your training? I mean, injuries do happen, but as long as you don't have any giant things happen, I think you can keep training a long time. Just make sure that you're pulling the weights back when you need to.
Gotcha. Oh, by the way, random question about your t-shirt. What brand is that? I love that logo.
Oh, I thought, you know, who, I think this was from Impact Mouth Guards. They had it at USS, and I just saw it. I'm like, bearded badass. I definitely need to buy that shirt.
That's perfect. I love the aesthetic.
Most of the time, have you heard of Kratos Strength Equipment yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so Andrew is he's a vet and he owns Kratos Strength. They have awesome shirts and hats and tights. I love the tights that he's got me, and ear bags. I mean, they make really good stuff, and he's been helping me a lot as a sponsor. So go check him out. Anyone that's listening, KratosStrengthEquipment.com. You can get a discount with all caps Mike 30% off whatever you get.
Awesome. How is their training equipment and compared to, or I don't know if you've tried compared to, I know you mentioned Cerberus and Rogue and those guys, but I don't even know how much Rogue is into, let's look at their website, like into Strongman. I know they're probably starting to get some stuff in, but is there a huge quality differences amongst, Strongman sleeves and all that other kind of stuff?
It's all across the board, man. I mean, if you go to a bar, there's rail and then there's top shelf.
Right.
The same thing with if you get elbow sleeves. When I first started out, I didn't know anything about needing protective equipment or sleeves, I didn't know anything about that. And I went and bought some Tommy Kono like neoprene sleeves for 20 something bucks on Amazon. I thought this was, oh wow, these are so supportive. These are the greatest things ever. And they tore in like a couple months. I mean, I personally use SBD for my everyday kind of training, so knee sleeves and elbow sleeves. But then you can get very specific about the equipment that you use for different events. So for circus dumbbell, for example, my elbows have never locked ever, so I need as much support as I can get and to keep them really warm. So I'll use another brand, Strength Shop USA.
Okay.
They have single ply, double ply, and even triple ply, I think, for use. So I'll put one of those on. That's a little more springy, definitely a lot more compressive. And then I'll put my SVD sleeve on right here, because when you're holding the dumbbell, it wants to dig into your forearm.
Okay.
So it's all a matter of what you want. There's so many options out there. Kratos Strength Equipment, to my knowledge, doesn't have a whole lot of strength equipment quite yet. It's a lot of training apparel and training gear, like gear bags and stuff.
Yeah.
I believe they're working on getting something like that, but they're a relatively new company, so they're slowly ramping up.
Awesome. I totally skipped over this part at the beginning, and I meant to open with this. You have a laser engraving business that I just completely went over. Can you talk a little bit about that? And by the way, so is that's your full time on top of all this training and stuff that you're doing?
I recently quit my job. I was a bartender for a long time.
Oh, cool.
Easy money.
Yeah.
And cash is great. I mean, who denies cash? But this is my company, full circle engraving. It's pretty much part-time right now until I start ramping up and getting more orders. It's not something I've really marketed that hard because I was making money at the bar and I just haven't put a whole lot of time into it. But I make these custom engraved tumblers. It's like coffee tumblers. That's probably my main thing that I sell. And give me a logo, I can put it on anything that you want, pretty much. Yep.
How long has that been going for? Is that just this year? Have you?
That's it's 2021. In November, that'll be 2 years. 2 years that I've had it running, actually. Yep.
Nice. How did that get started?
I took a couple classes, just some tech school classes. One class was called How to Make Almost Anything, and they had all different what do you want to call them? Prototyping modalities. So 3D printers, laser cutters, like what I got. So laser printing machine, if that's what you want to call it. CNC routers, and you program it all and you could build different things. Oh, actually, hang on. This is kind of cool. So one of the things that I made, in addition to laser projects in school was with the CNC router. I'm a huge nerd. I like that. So I made this Hylian shield. I don't know if you can see. So this is all red, and then this is all cut out by the router. So then I painted it by hand, and then on the back, I don't know if you can see, but it's a icon of Link, and that's from the laser. So I try to use as many of the tools in the lab that I could. So anyway, I took that class. I'm like, man, you can start a whole business with this laser. I don't have any money. Oh, well, why don't I just finance this thing and pay it? I bought this laser, and it's really cool. And I've never missed a payment on it with the business that I've had come in. And I make really great stuff. So if you know anyone that wants some awesome tumblers or some plaques or fancy signage, I can do it. I just haven't put a whole lot of time into like marketing it.
That's crazy. So you just decided, I'm just gonna, explore this and then turn it into a full-fledged business just because for fun, basically.
Yep.
Nice. I love it.
I know that I wanted to do it, and instead of waiting around and taking 2 years, 3 years to think about it, I just bought the dang thing, and it's been running. I mean,
So is this sitting in your house, or is like in a separate facility somewhere? Or oh, you're kidding!
Literally right there.
That's no way.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's fairly compact. I was thinking it's this massive, like 5 or 10 foot piece.
I mean, it's probably like 100 pounds, but
yeah.
I mean, it's like a big chest kind of looking. Yeah. Yep.
Nice. I love it.
Podcast see the video?
I'm sorry?
Can people on the podcast see the video?
Yes, they can. Yeah, they'll be able to see that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, I could make something probably if you wanted me to on the podcast.
Sure. Hey, okay. Go for it, dude. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's just chat while I whip something up.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
I'm very curious about this process now. This is really cool. So can you put laser engraving on pretty much anything?
It depends. There's certain plastics that you can't use the engraver on because the laser creates like a caustic gas, and that can destroy. So like I think PVC is something that you can't use. But let me grab a tumbler quick.
Yeah. This is awesome.
Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I don't know if you can see this. This is an example of this was my first one that I got. So a lot of the companies that I've done laser work for, I decided to put their logo on it.
Nice.
So it comes out perfect. Whatever the logo. Yeah.
Huh.
You have a logo for your podcast?
We do. It's basically just it's a little complicated. You want me to shoot it over to you?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. Here. Let's see if I can find the original. It's kind of more like a square. I'll shoot you over just the eagle, which is kind of part of our brand here. Let's see.
Okay.
Badge. There we go. Congdon.
Oh, this is gonna be sweet, man.
Yeah, man. All right, done.
All right,
it's basically like leather, any applicable plastic, metal.
Yeah, glass too. So if you have any kind of
oh wow,
wedding parties, we'll say, hey, can you make a whole bunch of tumblers with Mr. and Mrs. blah 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 and their custom name, and then sometimes people go way overboard and they have their like own logo for their wedding.
Dang.
I'll just rip out like 20 of these, and then everyone will just be getting sloshed on their custom tumbler. I'll have something cool to take home. So
that's amazing. So is it on the glass, or do you have to put something on top of it to cut in?
Directly on the glass.
Wow.
Yep. It kind of looks like a frost, like a.
Okay. Yeah.
Frost. I wonder if I got. Oh, here we go. This one was a mistake, but you can kind of see.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
That's so neat.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of fun having to do this all like at once.
Yeah, dude.
All right. So copy. I'll show you what I'm doing here. Actually.
Yeah. Sure.
Can you see the computer?
I got it.
You can. Okay. So I got your deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Copy it. I go to this program here called Corel Draw.
Okay.
And was it fitness and freedom? What's it called?
Freedom Fitness Equipment. You can do Freedom Fitness if you want. That's shorter.
Freedom Fitness. Cool. So I already know the dimensions that I need for this coffee tumbler. And I already copied it. So bam, there it is.
Nice.
From here, the laser only reads a certain way. So you have to edit it. So basically I reduce it to something that's editable, and it does this pretty quick here. So it gets rid of all the background noise. So bam, that's the original. This is what we need here. And then what it does is, if you can see, all of these different color chunks, you can actually delete those. So if they're all separate pieces. So I ungrouped all of them. Okay. I can actually go in and select there. Now that one's gone. That one's gone. And ultimately you have to kind of get creative and get rid of certain things so that they show up the right way, because all it does is it burns the material that you're using. So not always going to look like as artistic as you might think it would be.
Right.
Because it's going to be like a black or white detail.
Sure.
And I'm just trying to zip through this quick so people don't get too bored or anything.
Oh, that's fine. That looks awesome. So it's going to burn only the stuff that is colored, basically, and the white space is going to be the void.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm going warp speed here, deleting what wouldn't show up, and I'm creating those white spaces that would show up.
Nice.
Where do you live anyway?
So we're in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Were you there in, what was it, 2018 for the Strongman games?
We were. I was not into fitness like I am now, so we didn't. I didn't even hear about it.
Okay. Are you gonna make your way down to Florida?
I would love to. That's in November, right? That's the one you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, I would love to. That would be awesome. Now I have the convenient excuse that it's part of the business. So
hey, there you go. Right off.
Exactly.
All right. So this is all. There's a lot of times you'll miss different things because they're like almost white. Like up here, you'll see it's gray. Right. I'm going to turn everything black.
Okay. Ooh, man, that's slick.
Yeah, right. It's pretty sweet. So then I'm going to take this thing, rotate it 90 degrees. Oh. And see, these are some of the parts that are gone.
Cool.
Go. I'll have to ship one of these suckers out to you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Look at this service, man. You get to have your own company. Right? You literally get the whole thing right there. Oh. All right. So once we get this to fit. Cool. So from here, this is the workspace. I made it 4 by 4 inches. Then we can actually change the power setting of this. And there's two things that a laser can do. It can do what's called a raster setting, or it can do a vector. A vector means it's going to cut or be like in a power setting to cut. A raster will just be meant to like burn, or you kind of think of it like writing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So we're just going to be doing a raster on it.
Okay.
And have the preset power ratings for this. So that should be, there we go. 75. So yeah, anyone watching this, if you want a badass tumbler or like 50 of them or more, just hit me up. I'll hook you up, man.
We'll get freaking cool.
Yeah.
I love this.
This, you can see the print preview to make sure that it actually fits in the box that you're doing, and it does.
Awesome.
So if we hit apply, all right, there we go. It's not on yet.
Yeah.
Kitty, what are you doing? Come on, man. So what I'm plugging in right here, maybe plugging in. There we go. That's the vent that actually sucks all the gas outside.
Oh, nice.
You gotta move.
Is that carbon monoxide going out, or what is that?
No, that's just air.
It's just, oh, it's literally air. Okay.
All right, so this is the laser, right? Power button's back here. Should turn on. I already had it preset up. There's a separate unit that needs to go into this. It's called a rotary unit.
Okay.
Because instead of just going back and forth on a flat surface, it needs to rotate to have the same amount of distance while burning to a focal point.
Yeah.
So if you look in here, this is actually the rotary unit.
Cool.
It's connected to the computer inside so that it rotates as it burns.
Yep.
This rotates back and forth. So,
oh man,
move this out of the way. I'm gonna hit print over here because that'll send the job over.
Okay.
It should pop up. Oh, what am I doing? Let's see if I can. I've never done this before. Let's all make it up.
It looks good.
Right, so, this guy in here. Make sure that it's flat. Kitty, get out of here, man. So what this deal is, I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
This is a removable spacer.
Okay.
There's magnets that go on here. I need to make sure that this is exactly flush with this. So just take it and actually move up and down.
Oh.
Kitty, you gotta go, man. Come on. So as I move this over, move the table up to meet it exactly. And see if I can show you this too. So there's actually a laser pointer. You see that red dot?
Oh yeah.
I can shut that off, and that actually helps me center exactly where I want it.
Nice.
I've done this a million times, so I don't really need to measure it. But anyway, I'm measuring right in between these two, and your eagle is going to be facing the way that we want it to.
Nice.
So I come over here. This is actually setting, if you think about like a graph, or graph paper, this is setting the origin for where everything's going to happen.
Nice.
So set home. The freedom job. Can you read that? It says freedom.
Yep.
Cool. So I shut this. And there's one more thing I need to make sure that I did right before. File. That's center engraving. Okay, awesome. Apply, print. You want to see your thing get made?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Now I can't see this. Can I flip this around?
I think you can.
Oh,
there we go.
Yeah. There we go. Sick.
Nice.
So that right there, that is just the alignment. That has nothing to do with the laser other than a target. Okay. So I can shut that off. And here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So it usually takes about, for something this size, I'm guessing it's going to take like 3 minutes or so.
Okay.
And it doesn't burn perfectly off. So just like burning anything, there's probably some sort of ash or residue, right? So I'm just going to let this run.
Okay.
Unless you want me to just keep watching. It is kind of fun to watch.
Oh, it's fine. Either way.
So typically for something like this, like a single one-off item, it'll be like $40.
Okay.
But if you're going to be ordering like a number of them of the exact same design, it doesn't take nearly as much work. So
nice.
If you wanted like 10 of them or something like that, it's not going to be 40 each. It's going to be a lot less than that.
Sure. Is there a way to do multiple units at the same time, or is this just a single unit for you?
That is, it's only one at a time.
Okay.
One at a time with this guy.
Nice.
If you really got a laser business that's just cranking,
Right.
you're going to need to buy multiple machines, which, I mean, where else can you get something completely custom talking to someone that's going to make it, you know? Like, it's a pretty unique thing that I'm offering.
That's true.
That you can't really find anywhere else.
I love it.
Yeah. Other stuff. Let me show you some other stuff.
Yeah.
So Christmas ornaments are another one.
Hey.
So you can cut through wood.
Wow.
You can spray paint them. A lot of people that do like weddings, they will have me make custom little ornaments that they'll have on their dinner tables and that sort of a thing.
Yep.
So my what do I call it? My slogan, I would say, is it's full circle laser engraving, branding, and custom creations. So if you have a company and you want to get your name out there and you need a brand, I can help make stuff that you can sell. So a profitable part of your company and get your name out there.
That's terrific.
So if you wanted to have a whole bunch of Freedom Fitness equipment stuff, I could get you whatever you needed, whether it's any kind of like weird little ornaments or keychains or tumblers, whatever it is.
That's amazing.
We just put our heads together and I can make something for you.
I love that. Has anybody at any of the strongman got any of your buddies asked for stuff like this?
Yeah, believe it or not, I made all of the trophies for United States Strongman Nationals.
No.
Yeah, so we had the third place was these 20-ounce tumblers. Second place was 30-ounce, and then the first place was a plaque where my friend Tim Kovac, he's the one, and Sue Metcalf, his wife, they promoted the whole contest. They had these custom Minnesota wooden cutouts made, and then I laser engraved every single one of them with the United States Strongman Nationals logo with their custom weight class on them.
Wow.
I have that downstairs too, which is kind of cool. So I can mark on metal. Yeah. I cannot remove metal. That's something that's different.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So I have a spray that goes over the top, and then that permanently bonds with a metal surface.
Very cool. Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you, you mentioned earlier, I know you were sponsored by Kratos. How did you get connected with them in the first place? Or maybe you said that and I missed it.
He reached out to me and he's like, hey man, you know, can we give you a cool shirt? And I was like, can I come over and train? So I went over and trained at his garage, and this Andrew guy, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He just straight up like wants to make Strongman as cool as possible. Yeah. And I'm trying to do the same with him. You know, I don't have a huge following. I got like 1,500 people. But all right, hang on, little stop here.
That's freaking sick.
But wait, there's more. Hang on. So one thing that you do, pardon my dishes, I wasn't expecting to exactly do this today. Here we go. So this is just a basic degreaser. Oops. Spray that on there. And believe it or not, these magic erasers are magic. They are freaking fantastic. What I've learned though is, I don't know if you can see, it's slowly coming off.
Oh yeah.
It's just eating away at that little bit that's on there. Well, how do I show this? It's so satisfying. Stay. Oh yes, it's gonna work. All right. A little bit of that. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Oh, needs to go on there.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that looks so beautiful.
A bit of rinse. Ta-da!
Now that is sweet.
So everyone watching, if you want one of these Freedom Fitness equipment mugs, you can talk to the guy that's on the other side of the screen.
Oh man, I might have an order for you, man. That looks amazing.
Yeah. And then the one other thing with this is, so number one, yeah, that looks absolutely kick-ass.
Yeah.
I could put Freedom Fitness equipment up here. If you have it all on one side, it's gonna be the same cost. If you want something on the second side, I do charge $5 extra per item because it's a whole other runtime.
Yep.
But yeah, this is one example of what it would be.
That's
Just
phenomenal.
off the cuff custom thing right away.
I love it, dude.
Yeah. All right, sweet.
So you said you're a bit of a nerd, and I know you're a nerd for tools and when working with stuff like that. But I hesitate to ask this because I'm going to give away stuff about myself. Do you like board games, I know. Well, okay, I've already answered my own question. Yes, you love Zelda.
Yeah.
What else? What else do you like playing?
Oh, dude, you should see the belt that I just got.
Ooh.
It's got the Hidden Leaf Village symbol on it. It's got the Triforce on it, and I like animes of a lot of different kinds. But Berserk, You're a Berserk?
No.
What? Come on, man! Come on. Berserk's one of my favorite animes of all time. So I have. Well, since you don't know what it is, I'll just say it's the brand of sacrifice that's on part of my belt.
Okay.
And then I have the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII on there.
Ah,
it's badass. It's super badass.
I love that kind of stuff, dude.
He took me up, and he had a contact with Belt Fed Strength. So if anyone on here needs a custom belt, hit them up too. Amazing work.
Nice. I'll have to check them out. Yeah. Back in the day, I'll still mess around with it from time to time. And now that Steam is really big, love doing. A couple of my buddies are into Gloomhaven. I don't know if you know, or I don't know if you like board games that much, but it's kind of I'll describe it as like a D&D style put into a board game format for multiple players, like a co-op game. So
okay,
I love that. I love that kind of nerdy stuff. But anyway,
those kind of games that I'd want to get into, but I know just how much investment it's going to take.
Yeah,
and I would love to do it. I can't allow myself it takes so much time to do everything else that I'd be like, I want to play D&D, but I don't have time. So
just to give you an idea, the Gloomhaven campaign that we're doing it's close to 100 scenarios. We are 1/3 of the way through, 1 year in. So it's a multi-year effort. Wow. And to get multiple people, which is way more fun, obviously, to play with. I mean, it's definitely a commitment. We've had scheduling issues already. So, but it's fun. Just know that your time will no longer be your own. So,
I already got with Strongman and a girl at work. I didn't even tell you what I do now for actual work.
What do you do?
Quitting the bar. Well, I do this, and I want to do it more. So if anyone wants cool stuff, please, Michael Congdon, 23@gmail.com, or my Instagram, or heck, text me 715-410-9801. That's fine.
There you go.
I decided that I wanted to get into sales. I've always done sales. I did personal training sales. Bartending is sales, honestly. A little bit different. And I sold cell phones for a long time. I worked for Verizon for about 15 months at one point when they changed the compensation structure. So I had to get something different. But now I'm into storm damage restoration. So if you do have hail damage or wind damage or anything like that, I work for Aspen Exteriors.
Nice.
So just started with that, brand new. Just there to help people that if they have damaged their house, they need to get their roof repaired. I can help them file their claim, and basically you commit to Aspen to build it right for you.
Nice. I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
Is the long-term goal to have obviously a laser engraving business? Are you making you don't have to share this if you don't want to. I mean, are you making hill of beans from Strongman, or is it any significant amount of money that you guys make from winning championships or winning anything?
Oh, you don't make any money in Strongman. No,
okay.
You spend a lot of money. It is changing though. The Clash on the Coast competition that the Strength League Collective that Anthony Furman started, and he's doing a lot for the sport. He actually put up $10,000 for first place.
Ooh,
that's legitimate. So, in this Clash on the Coast series, Clash on the Coast is going to be the final competition for 105 kilogram strongman men athletes only. This is like its own thing, and best guys are going there. So my next competition that I figure we should probably talk about is in Waco, Texas, September 4th. Coming up real quick. And the first place purse is $3,500. So, I mean, that's nothing to, turn your nose at. That I'm planning on taking that home 100%. So definitely improving in the 105 kilogram realm. Also at America's Strongest Man, I think there's $20,000 up for first place. So there are more opportunities for 105 kilogram strongman than there's ever been. And that's why I'm putting so much effort into it, because with money coming into the sport, I want to make sure that I'm going to be catching some of those paydays.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely getting bigger. I don't know. I mean, have you noticed that the sport has been gaining popularity over the past few years, or is that just me thinking something and it not being a reality?
Well, I would say this is the last year and a half, especially with the start of the strongman games.
Mm-hmm.
It's really opened a lot of opportunities for people to say and work towards a title that they want.
Yeah.
Because for the time, it's like, yeah, I'm Joe Schmo and no one knows who I am, and I won Minnesota's Strongest Man, and that's great because I've won the state championship for Minnesota, and that's really cool, and I felt really good. It was great, and then I went to nationals, blah blah blah. But now, I mean, the amount of effort strongman athletes, and when I say strongman, I'm always including women. Strongman is men and women.
Yep.
It's unbelievable how much work goes into it. So the lack of financial reward is unfortunate. And now I feel like there is opportunity there now. And I can only see more of that happening. There was even going to be, the Eddie Hall and the Thor Bjornsson fight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So WUS, or World's Ultimate Strongman, they were putting together this huge show, and it's still happening, but it moved to Dubai. And I think they're having Devin Larratt fight Thor now, which is But anyway, the point of me bringing it up is there was going to be a 105 kilogram show before the boxing match on TV.
Okay.
Called the World's Strongest Medley. So it was going to be the top 105 kilogram athletes, at least in America, that were going to be there, including myself. I got invited, and it was 10 events, or no, eight implements over 10 minutes at world level competition weights.
What?
Yeah, that is what I said to begin with. So for 10 meters, so 30 feet for these first 4 events, it was an 800-pound tire, an 800-pound yoke, 300-pound hand farmers, a 308-pound sandbag. Those were the first 4 that you had to get through. And this isn't like over a competition. This is, you have 10 minutes.
What?
After that, and you're trying to go as fast as possible. All you got is 10 minutes. You got a 180-pound circus dumbbell for 1 rep, a 660-pound deadlift for 1 rep, a 275 log, and a 330 Atlas stone. And you have to do all this as fast as you possibly can. So I was ready to go. Me and Tyler Young we're gonna fuck shit up at that competition. It got canceled because Eddie bicep. So I mean, it's one thing to say like you would have won if you would have gone. I mean, I really felt confident about it with how my training was going, but slipped through my fingers. So we'll have to wait for that to come up again.
Oh man. So they're not, even though they're moving it to Dubai, they're not doing the pre-show now, they're just doing the main event.
I honestly, I'm just an athlete that was invited.
Yeah.
I think they're still figuring out what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah. So as of now, I think that it's canceled.
Okay. Gotcha.
Our weight class. I haven't heard anything yet.
I was pissed when I heard that. I was like, that was the event to watch. I know neither. Well, I mean, Eddie's got boxing experience, so you could say it'd be a shit show, but I don't know. I find that to be extraordinarily entertaining, and the fact that those two absolutely hate each other's guts adds a little bit of intrigue. So
yeah.
It'll be interesting. Where can people find you online, social, all that good stuff?
So Michael Congdon on Instagram. So Congdon. Also got a Facebook page. If you want to contact me about anything regarding the laser business, just message me directly on Instagram or use my phone number again. Texting me is fine. I am not very good at answering emails. It's just not something I check all the time. So either message me on Facebook, DM me, or on Instagram, or shoot me an email if you need to at michael3@gmail.com.
michaelcon23@gmail.com. Sounds good.
Yes, if you want to promote your gym, if you want to promote your business of any kind, I can do more than this. Just talk to me. We'll find something. I have a wholesaler that has all these different laserable items that we could find something for you and make something to promote your business. And maybe you can make, well, definitely you can make a little bit of money selling these products to promote yourself as well.
Fantastic. Check this guy out. Michael, I really appreciate you coming on. That was a lot of fun. And I'm going to post that whole clip about the laser engraving process. That was absolutely sick. So appreciate you walking me through that, man. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I'll just logistically, so I'll post clips from this in the week leading up to the premiere, to probably be a few weeks from now. And then I'll be sure to tag you and give you the link of where it is and promote you, you know, in that entire weekend on the premiere day, which is usually Saturday at noon. So thank you so much.
Like I was ready. I didn't think I was gonna have this much fun. This was good.
We'll definitely have to have you back on. I appreciate you coming on though. Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Bye. Thank you for listening. Please give FreedomCast a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. It would mean a lot to our business. Plus, it's fun to read y'all's reviews. See you next time.